Okay, so we divide polysaccharides into two categories on the base of number of kinds of monomers involved in the formation of that polysaccharide. So there are two types. One is a homopolysaccharide and second one is a heteropolysaccharide. And most of the polysaccharides are homopolysaccharides only. Less number are heteropolysaccharides. So first one. Hello, please mute. Okay, and that day I gave you certain number of examples. Starch, starch, inulin. Here I give you. Here I'm taking one that is a starch. In the case of starch, what about the linkage? Okay. So before moving into the structure of a starch, starch is with a secondary helical structure, and the functional starch is with a secondary helical structure. Primary is a straight chain only. Primary structure means just straight chain. It was not given in your textbook. So primary means a straight one. What about secondary helical, helix? So primary structure is a straight chain of glucose monomers like cellulose microfibril seen in the case of cotton fibers. If it is a straight one primary structure. Secondary is helical structure, spring-like structure. Secondary helical structure. For this one, I'll give you description only. And for glycogen, I will give you structure. So secondary helical structure, starch. Actually, that is called as a starch I2. Okay, so in carbohydrates, primary and secondary structures are present. Primary is nothing but a straight chain of, for example, glucose, 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 a straight chain of n number of glucose.
Voice is not.
By, yes, wait, linked together by glycosidic bonds. So that is a straight one. So this one is primary structure. Primary structure. So simply it looks like this, primary structure. And what about secondary structure? Spring-like. Secondary structure, that is a helical structure. Okay, so in your textbook, they didn't explain like this, just directly secondary helical structure. Secondary helical structure is nothing but a spring-like structure. And here, very, very important thing is, here I'm writing, here I wrote starch I2. What is the meaning of this one? So generally, we are using iodine to test whether the organism or plant is with a starch or not. So iodine is used to check the presence of starch. So secondary helical structure starch is able to hold. So that starch I2 is able to hold iodine molecules in the helixes or in the coils, in coils, in coils. So within coils, I2 is present. Okay, and that appears in blue color, blue in color. Okay, so in starch primary structure, secondary structure are present. Primary structure is not able to hold iodine molecules. It was not given in your textbook. Leave it. Primary structure. Go for secondary structure. What is secondary structure? Helical structure. This helical structure is able to hold I2 molecules, iodine, like that. Okay. So we have been using iodine to check whether the leaf is with starch or not. If it is in blue color, definitely we can say that in that plant part or leaf part, starch was present. So starch was homopolymer. So for NEET examination, what you have to remember out of starch? Starch is homopolysaccharide. Homopolysaccharide. Secondary structure is helical structure. And within the helixes, it is able to hold iodine. As it is able to hold iodine, it will impart a blue color. In 10th or 8th or 9th class, you use this dialogue. Okay, so for example, colorless leaf or half inserted leaf, variegated leaf, to check whether photosynthesis is happening or not. If starch is present, definitely if it is treated with iodine, that will appear in blue color. Okay, so that is one. Next, what about cellulose also given in your textbook? Cellulose do not show secondary helical structure. Spring-like arrangement is absent. Do not show secondary helical structure. So it is not able to hold and can't hold, do not hold I2. So not able to impart blue color. So no blue color. Okay, so cellulose and starch both are homopolymers. Starch is reserved material. Cellulose is generally cell wall material. And out of these two, they will ask you. Both are having secondary structures, but there is no helical structure in the case of cellulose. So that's why cellulose is not able to hold I2 molecules. So that's why cellulose do not show blue color. Some other test is required. That is not required. This is enough for NEET examination. So remember, starch with secondary helical structure is able to hold iodine, and that will appear in blue color. Okay, right? Copy this part. Take down. Just this theory part only. Next, I will take a glycogen. Glycogen is very, very important. In your textbook, the structure of glycogen was given. They will ask you like this: in starch, what are the monomers? Glucose. What are the bonds present between glucose molecules in starch? Just glycosidic bond. I will show you glycosidic bond by taking glycogen. And what about structure of starch? Secondary structure with the helical. And which structure is able to hold I2 molecules? And next question, starch with what type of structure imparts blue color if it is interacted with a iodine molecule? Like that they will question. Okay, and out of cellulose also, no helical structure, do not hold I2, and does not yield do not impart a blue color. Okay, so this is simplest one. Next one is a little bit complicated. Okay, right? This is enough for NEET examination. So that is about a starch. Next one, what about a glycogen? Cartoon-like structure. Okay, so what about glycogen? Next example, homopolysaccharide. It is a variant of starch only. It is called as animal starch, animal reserve food. It is also polymer of glucose molecules only. We'll see what about the structure of that one. So glycogen is a homopolymer with glucose monomers. So in your textbook, the given diagram, cartoon-like structure is given. This is a straight chain, unbranched one. Okay, and here it is branched. Like that, certain number of branches are present. In your textbook for this diagram, the given dialogue was cartoon-like structure. It looks like a cartoon. So cartoon-like structure. And this one is a right end, right, and this one is a left, left end. Okay, so right end is a reducing end. Reducing means here it is a aldehyde group is present. We will see what is that aldehyde group. CHO group, aldehyde group is present. With the Fehling's reagent, it is able to impart some color or reaction. Hence, right end is called as a reducing end. Means with the help of Fehling's reagent, if it is reacted, we'll get some reaction. Aldehyde is able to react with the so-called Fehling's reagent. You will study that Fehling's reagent in chemistry only, not here. Left hand non-reducing end, not able to give any reaction with the Fehling's reagent, non-reducing agent, non-reducing end. So this part is very, very important. They will ask you, need just out of botany, they will ask you, right end is reducing or non-reducing, left end reducing or non-reducing, not more than that. So it is branched chain of homopolymer. So we can write like this. It is branched chain of homopolymer with glucose monomers. Glucose monomers. Okay, right? Now, what about the structure of glycogen? In the non-branched region, in the area where branching is absent, what about the bond? Here I will explain you what is glycosidic bond, how glycosidic bond is formed between two monomers present in a polysaccharide. So take one glucose molecule. This is a glucose molecule. And the day I gave you already glucose molecule. Okay, so this is a carbon atom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here CH2OH. Okay. Now, and take one more glucose molecule. And remaining areas you fill it on the day I told you. Second glucose molecule. See, here what about the carbon atom? Fourth carbon atom, first carbon atom. So here hydrogen. Rest of the areas you fill it already I told you, please. Here OH, here OH. Okay, out of two hydroxyl groups, one OH from any one of them, one OH, one hydrogen atom, removed in the form of H2O molecule. So this is a glycosidic bond. In DNA and RNA, N-glycosidic bond. This is glycosidic bond. Here, what about linkage? Here, linkage is 1,4. 1,4 glycosidic linkage. It was not given in your textbook. they may ask 1 comma, 1 comma, wait. It's not visible, I think. Wait. Okay, now it is visible. Okay, so here linkage is 1 comma 4 linkage. 1, 4. First Karnataka, fourth Karnataka. Okay, and what about in the branched region? In this region, what about the linkage? This one is straight one. In the branched region, what about the linkage? Take one more glucose molecule here. One, two, three, 4, 5, CH2OH. Sixth carbon. In the non-branched region, what about the linkage? 1 comma 4 linkage. 1 comma 4 linkage. So what is that 1 comma 4 linkage here? First carbon atom, bond, oxygen, bond, fourth carbon atom, 4C, 1 comma 4 linkage. Okay. And what about in the branched region? In the branched region, what about the linkage? Take one more glucose molecule. And this one is first carbon atom. Okay, OH. Here OH. Remove them. Remove it. So link to this one, oxygen and carbon. So first carbon, sixth carbon. Here linkage is 1 comma 6 glycosidic linkage. 1 comma 6 glycosidic linkage. In your textbook, they didn't explain the glycosidic bonds. Just I'm giving as part of beyond NCERT. Sometimes they may ask. Maximum extent, they didn't ask so far linkage out of polysaccharides. But you have to study these things under the chemistry clearly. We'll get a complete information about polysaccharides. So here, in glycogen, what about the linkage? In glycogen, remember this dialogue, glycogen, two types of linkages are present. One is 1 comma 4 linkage in the straight non-branched region. In the non-branched areas, without branching, non-branched areas. In the branched areas, the linkage is 1 comma first carbon atom and sixth carbon atom in the branched region. In the branched areas, 1 comma 6 glycosidic bond. Okay. So formation of glycosidic bond is dehydration. Here also one molecule of H2O out. Dehydration. Here also H2O. So at the time of digestion of polysaccharide, by adding H2O molecule, we can cut the glycosidic bond. As that bond is formed by dehydration, if it is hydrated, all the glucose molecules will be separated. At the time of digestion of starch, from mouth to up to stomach region, such a phenomenon is taking place at the time of digestion of starch, polysaccharide, or glycogen, whatever it is. Okay, so remember this one. This is enough for NEET. This is more than required for NEET examination. Okay, so remember the linkage. So glycosidic bond is formed by dehydration. Remember that one. Here I'm writing glycosidic bond. After completion of this one, I'll give you what is the difference between N-glycosidic bond present in DNA molecule, RNA molecule, and glycosidic bond present in so-called sugars. So glycosidic bond is formed by dehydration by the elimination of water. Okay, is it clear? Take the screenshot, copy it,
Your
please.
video struck.
ఏంటమ్మా?
Say ఇందాక వీడియో స్ట్రక్ అయింది సార్.
అవునా? ఇప్పుడు
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే. మ్యాక్సిమం వస్తుంది, ఎప్పుడన్నా ఒకసారి డ్రాప్ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ ఈ రూమ్లో వైఫై పెట్టించాము, ఎప్పుడన్నా ఒకసారి బ్లర్ అవుతుంది, మళ్ళీ వచ్చేస్తుంది. డోంట్ వరీ ప్లీజ్. ఓకే, రిమెంబర్, ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ స్వాగత్? దిస్ ఏరియా
ఎస్ సార్.
here it is 1 comma. In the non-branched regions 1 comma 4 linkage. In the branched region 1 comma 6. So actually according to NCERT textbook it is beyond a NEET standard, more than NEET standard. This is enough for that. Okay, take the screenshot. Okay, now I am erasing the board.
ఓకే సార్.
Wait. After completion of heteropolysaccharide. Okay, in your textbook heteropolysaccharide not given. A very rare was given. Heteropolysaccharide is also present. Okay, and I will give you complex homopolysaccharides. Complex homopolysaccharide. Just example only. Structure is not required. Chitin. Chitin is a complex homopolysaccharide with a made up of monomers, amminated monomers, amminated sugars. It is polymer of, it is polymer of chitin or chitin is a polymer of amminated sugars. Okay, next one more given. Remember these examples. N-acetyl, just examples only. N-acetyl glucosamine, N-acetyl muramic acid. These are the amminated sugars. In your textbook, glucosamine given. Glucosamine, N-acetyl galactosamine also given. N-acetyl, just words only. N-acetyl galactosamine, aminated sugars. Okay, so chitin is a polymer of aminated sugars, whatever the type of sugar, that much is not required. Just remember aminated sugars. Next, chitin is a cell wall material in fungi, yeast like that. In fungi, cell wall is with chitin and other polysaccharides, mainly chitin or chitin. Okay, so they will question you. In fungi, what is the type of cell wall material? Homopolysaccharide with aminated sugars. Okay, so chitin or chitin is a cell wall material in fungi. In fungi, in addition to chitin, other polysaccharides also present. Next, chitin or chitin is present or involved in the construction of, present in exoskeleton. exoskeleton of arthropods. Sorry, arthropods, particularly cockroach, buddinka, cockroach. Okay, cockroach, buddinka. In that it is not cell wall. Exoskeleton is not cell wall. Okay, cockroach is not having cell wall, but exoskeleton hard shell is present. In that shell, the cell wall material is chitin, and they will ask you, chitin is the cell wall material in fungi, cockroach. Only fungi. Cockroach is not having cell wall. It is exoskeleton only. Okay. And most of the polysaccharides are homopolysaccharides. Usually or rarely heteropolysaccharides are present. What are the heteropolysaccharides? They are not required. You'll study that one in chemistry only, not here. Okay. Right. So that is about polysaccharides. Take it, copy it. It is part of your textbook only, not beyond inside textbook. Okay. Is it clear? Now I'm erasing the board. Okay. Right. Now I'm erasing the board.
Okay.
Now we are going to look into what is the difference between N-glycosidic bond and a glycosidic bond present in nucleic acids and polysaccharides. Okay, so now the difference between, what is the difference between N-glycosidic bond okay. So first N-glycosidic bond. Next one, glycosidic bond. So I will give just bond only. Mechanism of formation already I discussed at the time of DNA and RNA. Okay, so first carbon atom of sugar, carbon 1 I am taking. Carbon 1, first carbon atom, okay, with nitrogen atom at 9th or 3rd of purines and pyrimidines. First carbon atom of sugar. This is sugar molecule. Okay, simple I will show you here. So C bond N, that's it. There is no oxygen here. Okay, sugar molecule, take sugar molecule roughly. First carbon atom and nitrogen atom of purine and pyrimidine. Here also one molecule of H2O out, dehydration. This is N-glycosidic bond. Simply see carbon bond nitrogen at 9th or 3rd. That's it. This is a N-glycosidic bond. N-glycosidic bond. Carbon bond nitrogen, no oxygen. Now what about glycosidic bond? Here I'm taking 1,4 linkage, for example. Okay, first carbon atom, bond, oxygen, bond, fourth carbon atom. Or you may take sixth carbon also. 1,4, 1,6, 1,2, like that. So many possible. Usually 1,4 linkage. See here also one molecule of H2O dehydrated, produced. Okay, so these two bonds are produced by means of dehydration. Simply see carbon, bond, bond, fourth carbon. Okay, here oxygen is present. See carbon, oxygen, carbon. In this case, carbon and nitrogen, there is no oxygen. And you can write one more, 1, sixth carbon atom, 1, 6 linkage. And one more you can add, 1, and second carbon atom. But usually it is a 1, 4 linkage in most of the cases. Okay, is it clear? So that is the difference between N-glycosidic bond and a glycosidic bond. This is present in. So N-glycosidic bond is present in nucleic acids. Present in nucleic acids. And what about this one? Present in polysaccharides. Present in polysaccharides. Okay, is it clear? Or too much beyond NEET competitive exam. This much is more than enough for NEET in the case of botany. Okay, take the screenshot, please. Copy it. Okay, completed. Now I am erasing the board.
Yes.
Okay, so carbohydrates completed. Next one, protein. Next, polymer present in acid insoluble fraction or pellet or retained one. Go back to biomolecules. That is organic chemical analysis. According to that, in the acid insoluble fraction, nucleic acids, polysaccharides, and proteins are present. So far we completed nucleic acids and polysaccharides, and next now it is protein. Okay, so what about a protein? Proteins. Okay, so protein is a polymer. Always it is a heteropolymer. Heteropolymer of amino acids. Okay, so heteropolymer of amino acids. It is a chain of amino acids, we will see. And heteropolymer means no doubt naturally produced proteins. Naturally naturally produced proteins are always heteropolymers. Okay, heteropolymers. So what is the meaning of that one? Homopolymeric natural proteins are absent. Homopolymeric natural proteins are absent, not possible. Of course, we may synthesize. Artificially, we can produce a homopolymer, but naturally, there is no homopolymer in the case of protein. What is protein? A chain of amino acids. It is a chain of amino acids. Now we should know. We should recall the structure of amino acid. Then only you can understand a bond. So proteins are called as polypeptides. Polypeptides. What is polypeptide? With many peptide bonds. Peptide means what is a peptide? Peptide bond. Many amino acids linked together peptide bonds. Wait. So between two successive amino acids, peptide bond is present. Peptide bond is present. For example, this is amino acid 1, whatever the type of amino acid, peptide bond, amino acid 2, amino acid 3, amino acid 4. So now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, tetrapeptide. Here peptide refers to number of amino acids. Amino acid A is nothing but amino acid. A is nothing but amino acid. So this is a one polypeptide, for example. It is a tetrapeptide. So what about this bond? Peptide bond. Peptide bond. And number of amino acids 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is a tetrapeptide on the base of number of amino acids. Okay, so it is a tetrapeptide. Now, what about a peptide bond formation? What about the formation of peptide bond? Peptide bond formation, how peptide bond is formed. This part is very, very important for NEET. Okay, so take two amino acids. First amino acid alpha carbon atom, and make this one as R group, whatever the R group. And here it is a COOH. Okay, and here it is NH2. Here it is a hydrogen. Okay, so amino group and carboxyl group. So this is amino acid 1. Take amino acid 2. ANH means NH2 divided NH alpha carbon atom, COOH, R group and hydrogen. Okay, so at the time of formation of peptide bond, here also dehydration, HOH removed. So one molecule of H2O. So now gives rise. So how many H2O molecules eliminated? One molecule of H2O. Okay, so now write NH2 as it is alpha carbonatum, hydrogen, bond CO, bond HN or NH, whatever it is. Here I'm taking NH, or you may take a HN or NH better. NH, R group, hydrogen, COOH. So the bond present between these two, CO bond NH, this bond is a peptide bond. Peptide bond. Okay, so H is with the pharmyl group. Some pharmyl group. Just remember pharmyl group, that is enough. Pharmyl group. So this is a first amino acid. Generally, first amino acid is methionine. First amino acid is methionine. Usually methionine. We will see why methionine is first involved in second year only, not now. Just remember. So methionine is what type of methionine? Pharmyl. Pharmyl group is present or attached to amino group. So amino group is not available in the formation of peptide bond. So out of first amino acid, which one is available? Only carboxylic group. So bond growth, here bond formation. What about the direction of bond formation? So direction of, this is very, very important, direction of peptide, hello, please mute, peptide bond formation is C bond N direction. C bond N direction. What is that C bond N direction? Carboxylic group of first amino acid, amino group of second one. Carboxylic group of second one and amino group of third one. See, what about the bond growth? C bond N, C bond N, C bond N, C bond N. Okay, like that. For example, if you take a protein, for example, this is a protein. So this is a starting one N, last one carbon. What is N and C? N terminus. This is very, very important. Tomorrow again I will explain you, don't worry. N terminus, this is a C terminus. N terminus, C terminus. N terminus, C terminus. Reason, bond growth is a C bond N, C bond N, C bond N. As the bond formation is a C bond N direction, what about this amino group? Is it involved in the formation of peptide bond? No. So N is nothing but a amino group of first amino acid. Okay, not involved in the formation of a peptide bond. Next, C is a COOH, carboxylic group of last amino acid that is not involved in the formation of a peptide bond. So N terminus, C terminus. That part is very, very important. Okay, tomorrow again I will explain you this one because this is very, very important. Okay, take the screenshot. Today enough. We will meet tomorrow. Okay, take the screenshot, please. Today enough. Okay, all of you. How many joined? Swagat?
17, sir.
Take the screenshot. Tomorrow again I will explain this part. This is very, very important for NEET. We'll see tomorrow. Okay, bye. See you. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Bye. See you.
Bye, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye.